What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here. And today we have a pretty interesting video where we're actually going to sit down and we are going to test Lust in the Guild Boss. We've made a sort of makeshift team, just kind of my first initial thoughts about what I think this team should look like. We're going to go over gear, we're going to go over placements, we're going to see what we can achieve with Lust in this video, including testing out her exclusive artifact from the event. So stay tuned. Let's dive right in. And welcome back, guys. So let's dive right in. So we are starting with a pretty baseline comp, in my opinion, and that is specifically looking at, of course, a basic Infernal DPS comp here, which is something I use in literally all of my guild bosses. I've used it pretty much the entire time. I have no reason to change it because it just works so well. But then we have our secondary team, which is a little bit of a switch up because currently in my guild boss team, I am using Eloin and Laurel and doing a rage comp. However, I'm thinking that this could potentially give me more damage output by throwing in Lust as a DPS. So it's something we're going to sit down and we're going to look at. I haven't actually tested this at all, but let's quickly go over all of the characters' gear, so just so you can see what I'm working with. And we might have to swap some gear around as well. This is my Pyros. He's mainly here just for rage regen and applying the amazing debuffs that he provides. We have him in a Nightmare Samsara, so pretty typical there. This is my Setrum. His gear has remained the same for a really long time. We're looking at Aegis Wrath and a Warlord set, 88.5 crit rate that maxes out with his passive, and we have his exclusive artifact. Then we have Hex. Hex is currently in a Soulbound Arcana set because with the amount of rage regen that we were applying, we're getting this up pretty consistently. This may be slightly different now that we're not using a rage regen set, but this is the gear that I normally have him in, and I don't really want to change too much of it right now. I want to see how it feels, but we'll take a look at that a little later. And he is in a maxed Spirit Siphon, well, at least a max promoted, not fully leveled, but he does a pretty decent chunk of damage. Then we have, of course, our Dolores here, who is in an Invigoration set with just as much attack as we can get, a little bit of rage regen here and there. And, of course, we have her with a Golden Scarab for that additional 25% rage regen. Then we have our Zillatu, who is in, again, her same setup here, Infernal Roar Warlord with a ton of crit rate, a ton of crit damage, and she is rocking a +2 promotion Wailing Skull. Then we go down to the secondary team, and this is where things kind of change up a little bit. We are using Torador. However, he's mainly here just for his Lord skill, and I think it's going to work really well here. He is literally just in an Invigoration set just so that we can buff some people. He just has a regular artifact just so he doesn't get completely one-shot. Nothing crazy there. Then we have our Hollow over here. She is an Invigoration, again, just built to heal and provide rage. She is currently using a Euphoric Orb at max promotion, which is going to give us a ton of attack speed, which we love. Then we have our Volca here. Volca, again, just for Invigoration, just a Nightmare bonus so that we can get the Lord skill. Nothing super crazy. This could theoretically be anyone, and it really wouldn't matter. It doesn't have to be Volca. It could be Azor. It could be, freaking where, let me find just a random, it could be Komodo, right? It could be Navras. It could be literally anybody that is of the Nightmare faction. It does not need to be Volca, but Volca everyone has, so pretty easy there. Then we have our two Nightmare DPS that we're going to be using, which is going to be Valeria as our first one. She is in my normal team. You'll see here she is in an Infernal Roar and a Warlord set, close to that 100% crit rate, nothing too crazy. And she is using a Flux Pendant, which actually I can buff up here. I forgot I did pick up a secondary copy of that, so let's buff that up just a touch here. Get a little bit of extra crit damage there, up to 30%, which we love. And then we have Lust. Now, Lust, I just threw random gear on. We are going to go through, I think, and double check some of this gear here, because I think we can get a better setup. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see if we can fit her in an Infernal Roar set. I do think that it's possible. Let's go ahead and take a look. Here is a crit damage. This has some crit rate on it though, so I think we'll probably keep that one because we can't take. We might need to use that one instead, but let's keep looking here. This is actually not a bad piece. It's not great, but it has a good chunk of crit rate, some rage regen, and attack speed, which we do want attack speed on her, so it does kind of make sense. And these both don't have crit rates, so I think we'll keep that. We'll keep that one. And then here is where we might need to swap a little bit. I think we might need to get some more crit rate, but I'm not sure if that's going to be plausible with the gear that I currently have. So we might need to find something with some more crit rate. Here's a nice crit rate piece. Let's go ahead and use this. And then here, can we find? Yeah, we can actually use this one right here. Boom. There we go. So that's actually a little bit better. It does hit us over the 100% crit rate cap, which is kind of what we're looking for. I'd like to see a little more attack bonus. But we are in Guild Boss, so realistically, I think it's probably fine. She does gain 30% damage when she deals damage to allies. She also gains a ton of attack speed, so realistically, I think she's okay. Her thing here also, her Mythic Artifact exclusive, gives crit damage by 30%. And it's basically, I think it's going to be up almost 100% of the time, I would think. So I think this is probably an okay build. But let's just dive right in. Let's do a test run. I have not actually tested this literally at all in any situation. So I don't know what we're going to do here. We're going to kind of take it slowly. I think first off, right off of the rip, we're going to go ahead and place Valeria. And then we'll go ahead and place our Torador, and we'll remove our Torador. And I think Lust is going to go here. And then we'll place Zilla2 here. Then we'll place our Volca down. We'll remove our Volca. We'll place our Cetrum in our normal spot. We'll place our Dolores in her normal spot. We'll place you here. And then let's see. Hold on. We gotta redo this. We gotta redo this because I need to make sure that I hit all of the right people with the attack boosts, right? So here's Valeria. And then Torador. So we have one on Valeria, right? Perfect. Then we're gonna place Zilla2 with Volca. So now Volca has one. Then we're gonna place Lust. And then we're going to place Dolores. Then we're going to place Hex. And then from there, we're going to place Hollow. And that means that Hollow gets the attack buff. Perfect. Okay. And then we'll place our Cetrum, and we'll follow that up with this right here. Okay. I think we're good. And now we're just pretty much going to be kind of doing everything we can here to do as much damage as possible. There's that, and we'll pop this. Boom, boom. We'll pop our Valeria here. And then it's just a matter of basically just kind of rotating through and using stuff as optimally as possible. So we'll pop this into this. We'll go ahead and pop our Hollow for the Rage Regen. Pop this and this into Pyros. Okay. Go ahead and pop our Cetrum here. We probably should have actually held the Cetrum, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, we're okay. There's this, there's that, and that. We're going to go into the thing right here. It's going to be a close one just because we don't have our big stuff up at the moment. But I think we'll be okay. We're doing a good chunk of damage already. Pop this and this. that. We should get Pyros back up in time. There we go. Okay. Right, we're already over the 20K hump, which is good. Go ahead and pop this into this, into this, into that, into that, into that, and into that. Here it is, blowing it up. Easy. Definitely need, I think, to kind of rethink some of this. I'm used to having more rage regen, so I think I'm using stuff kind of a little too early, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not using Pyros quite optimally when it comes to um, using it with Zillitu and Cetrum, which ultimately has been like relatively okay, but not amazingly okay, right? I think we'll get a good number here, just so we can see kind of what we're working with. I definitely need to work on a little bit of the timings there, I think. And it's, yeah, definitely not our highest blood, but let's just take a look and see what we're doing. So surprisingly, Lust did not do that much damage. Lust only did 33 million damage. And I'm wondering if that's because she's not running with all Nightmare units, right? I know that one of the things that makes her good is for every 2 ultimates activated by faction allies, the hero will trigger the Sinful Lash. So I'm not getting a ton of ultimates out. Huh. Let's see here. Randomly attacks enemies in range. With a 15% chance to attack allies instead. If the target is an ally, deal damage equal to 5% of the target's current HP. Every time Sinful Lash is triggered, increase attack speed by 36. Gain 30% damage increase upon dealing damage to allies with basic attacks. If the targeted ally belongs to the Nightmare Council, there's a 50% chance to restore 10% rage for the target. So I definitely think we probably want to run more Nightmare faction units in here. So I'm thinking let's try a little bit of a swap around here. Let's go ahead and remove. Let's see here. Let's remove Volca and let's put like Deimos back in, for example. Right? Got a pretty bad build, so that's not gonna be the greatest. But let's see. I think we also probably want to actually have Torador on the field. Let's see. It's kind of crazy, but I think I might remove. No, because in order to have Pyros really be effective, you need to have the 3 DPS there. I don't know if she's kind of the best. Let's see if we can find some teams with Lust. So here's one of the teams that my ally is using here. So he's using only 32 million there. Let's see, can we find a Lust? Here's a Lust team. You see, Lust is kind of going crazy, but I think that's because he's using a Piercer Infernal, or a Piercer Nightmare team, right? Is there another Lust team? Here's another Lust team. So this is an Infernal. Okay. So he only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Huh. I'm kind of curious how he's doing that, because this is basically kind of what I would want to run. The problem is I don't have Arrogance, right? So he's not using Cetrum. So it seems like Cetrum is maybe the one that gets removed. But also he's using Soul Cadence, which is less reliant on having multiple DPS, right? So I think that could be the potential difference there. But let's see what we can do. Let's remove you and let's throw in. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and like throw in you, and let's try something like this. Yeah, that kind of makes sense to me, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know if it's gonna work, but let's give it a try. We'll go ahead and just throw that in there. That should be fine. And then we'll need to put some gear on Deimos because he's not really using gear at the moment. Sure. Well, since we're not using Cetrum, we can use Cetrum's gear here pretty effectively. It's not the greatest, but I think it'll work, right? Yeah, that should work. All right, let's give this one more try, and let's see if we can do it with a full Nightmare team, and see kind of if we can push some more damage out of her. So first things first, I think is we still want to do this, and then we're gonna do this, and then Lust is gonna go in the middle here, and then we're gonna do Deimos, Vladov, Dolores, X. Oh, it doesn't work there. Pyros. Oh, I need Hollow though. Hmm. Yeah, let's do. Hold on. Let's restart this one more time. Restart this one more time. I think I figured out what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Valeria here, Deimos here, Zillatu there, Lust there, Dolores here, Hollow here. So we're not healing Valeria, right? And then Hex here and Pyros there. Let's give this a try. Don't know if it's going to work, right? No idea if it's going to work, but we are going to give it a try. Let's see if we can make something happen here. Because we are going to be getting quite a few more ultimates off from Nightmare factions because we have 3 ultimates instead of 2, right? There's that. Feel like this is gonna end up probably being ultimately less damage overall. But I do kind of want to just see what I can get Lust to be capable of. Because, for all we know, Lust could kind of just shatter everything, we've thought of here, and do some really crazy things, which is totally 100% possible. I'm going to go ahead and use Pyros here just because I want him to get that ultimate, or that Soulbound Arcana stacked, right? There's that damage. Boom, boom. Okay. This, and then there's Pyros again, so we can get some big damage here. Go ahead and pop Lust. All right. Okay, definitely want to hold off on stuff here. So we're gonna pop everything now, right? Because I want to make sure I break through the shields, which shouldn't be a problem. There it is. Okay. And now we're just going to ult as often as we can, basically. Oh, I was a little late on the Zilla ult there. It fell off right before, which is unfortunate, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, we lost Valeria, so then we're going to drop you down. There's that. Get a little more damage here with Corridor. We'll get Deimos out. I don't think we're going to get her off. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is definitely less than our normal team, right? Definitely less than our normal team. But let's see what we were able to accomplish there. So Lust really didn't do that much more damage, right? She definitely did not do really that much damage. And maybe it's a gear thing, right? Let's look one more time at this Lust. Maybe they're using something different here. Okay, so he's using Wailing Skull on the Lust. What's this Lust using? This one's using Scarlet Hunt. Interesting. Let's see. This one is using Wailing Skull as well. Is there another Lust on here somewhere? There's Lust, a Scarlet Hunt. Yeah, so it definitely feels like Lust is really good, but it also feels like you kind of need a really good team comp to go with her, and that's specifically having champions like, Arrogance, like Salazar, right? Which unfortunately I'm just missing. It's definitely unfortunate, but I'm missing those champions. And so because of that, I think we're having a little bit of a lack there. Ultimately, I mean, I'm still happy the fact that I got her, especially because she is, uh, kind of a never coming back type of champion, at least seemingly. But we'll have to keep doing some tests on her and kind of see how she goes. It does seem like maybe her mythic artifact isn't actually as good as a Wailing Skull. That might just be, though, because they're maxed out, right? We'll have to do some more testing. But if you liked the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below with what you guys think of Lust. Are you using her in your guild boss? Are you using her in other places? I think we're going to test her next in Immortal Codex because I think she is going to do really well there. But we will have to see. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you